Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Fray here. Today we're diving into one of the most widespread yet controversial methods of categorizing people by their body weight, BMI, aka body mass index. We'll explore what BMI is, how it's used, whether it's a good measure of health, and what some of the potential alternatives are. Okay, BMI has a fair number of critics, so if you're one of them, I hope you watch until the end of this video. And by doing so, you'll gain a deeper understanding of BMI's limitation and why it still has a place in healthcare today. Let's get started. So what exactly is BMI? The body mass index was first developed in the mid-19th century by a Belgian mathematician, Adolf Quetelet, who also founded the science of anthropometry, which focuses on measuring the human body's physical dimension. Interestingly, Quetelet wasn't aiming to create a health metric. He was simply fascinated by the ideal human body and wanted a way to calculate the size of an average person. His formula, weight divided by height squared, was called the Quetelet index, and initially it only included healthy Western European men in its dataset. It didn't include Africans, it didn't include Asians and all whatnot, okay? However, it became commonly known as the body mass index in the 1970s, thanks in large part to a man called Ansel Keys, a renowned American physiologist and nutrition researcher. Now, you can calculate your BMI by dividing your weight in kilograms by your height in meter squared. For instance, if you weigh 70 kilograms and your height is 1.7 meters, the formula would be 70 divided by 1.75 squared, giving you a BMI of 22.9. Now, let's look at the BMI categories and their usage. On its own, BMI doesn't tell us much, so scientists have created categories to better understand and group. According to the World Health Organization, a normal BMI ranges from 18.5 to 24.9. A BMI below 18.5 is considered underweight, and below 16 classified as severe underweight, which can occur in extreme cases such as starvation or anorexia. On the other hand of the spectrum, a BMI of 25 to 29.9 is considered overweight, and a BMI of 30 or above is classified as obese. There are further classifications within obesity. We have the class 1, the class 2, the class 3, and so on. Over the years, the health implications of obesity have become clearer. People with higher BMIs face an increased risk of conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, multiple types of cancer, even reduced life expectancy. Yeah, one flaw in BMI's labeling system is the terms used. Terms like overweight and obese, which can be stigmatizing. A lot of people don't like that. Perhaps a more neutral naming system, like using numerical classes, could help reduce that stigma. For example, we could use a normal BMI and call that class 0. If you're underweight, we could call that class -1. If you're overweight, we'll call that class +1, instead of using the terms obese and overweight, which are stigmatizing terms. But realistically, these terms are not likely to change anytime soon. If you're enjoying the value we provide in this video, please hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos. It's crucial to point out that these categories are medical terms used to group people by weight relative to their height. Scientists love categorizing things because, it helps us understand concepts better, it helps us to observe health trends and whatnot. For instance, the further someone's BMI deviates from the normal range, the higher their risk for certain health problems. However, BMI is not perfect. While it can serve as a quick screening tool to identify potential weight-related health risks, it has significant limitations. I will be looking at those limitations very briefly. BMI doesn't measure body fat directly, no. And also, it doesn't tell us about body fat distribution or muscle mass, all of which are vital components of an individual's health profile. For example, people in the normal BMI category could have low muscle mass and high body fat, a condition sometimes called sarcopenic obesity, which is actually quite unhealthy. BMI has its critics, like we mentioned earlier. Critics include doctors, nurses, patients, public health experts, bodybuilders. Some people even argue for the complete elimination of BMI, while others believe it could be used less. And the main criticisms are: 1. BMI doesn't measure what it's supposed to. We just mentioned that it doesn't measure body fat directly, and it also doesn't tell us about body fat distribution or the muscle mass, very vital components of an individual's health profile. 2. Having a larger body is not inherently harmful, no. And 3. BMI is not inclusive of different ethnicities, ages, and genders. Conversely, many athletes with high muscle mass may fall into the overweight or even the obese category, despite having low body fats and being in excellent health. The muscle mass kills the BMI, categorizing them unfairly. So, while BMI can be an indicator of health for the general population, it often fails on an individual level. Current research indicates that people of African and Asian descent, for example, tend to have more visceral fats, that is, fat around the organs, which is more strongly linked to type 2 diabetes. It is also worth noting that some individuals have what is known as metabolically healthy obesity, meaning their BMI is in the obese range, but they don't exhibit other metabolic issues like high blood sugar, insulin resistance, or high LDL cholesterol. LDL stands for low density lipoprotein, aka bad cholesterol. Okay? However, this group is relatively rare, and these individuals are still at higher risk of developing health issues later. Weight stigma is another significant issue tied to BMI. Many people face discrimination because of their weight, and this bias can extend to healthcare. Some doctors may attribute all health issues to a patient's weight, advising them to lose weight without conducting thorough investigations. This can lead to misdiagnosis and neglected health concern. Moreover, the stigma may prevent people from seeking medical care altogether, fearing judgment or dismissal based on their size. This is a critical issue that needs addressing to ensure everybody receives equitable care. BMI is a significant health risk factor, but it should not dominate every healthcare discussion. Medical professionals should not fixate on BMI alone when evaluating a patient's health. Unfortunately, many patients report that their BMI is brought up at every appointment, regardless of their concerns or their complaints. This can lead to feelings of being judged and overlooked, and might even cause patients to avoid seeking medical care altogether. As a healthcare professional, I'm very careful to evaluate my patients holistically, and I'm also very careful not to bring up BMI except it's particularly important to that patient's complaint or what brought the patient to see me. Given the limitations, what other alternatives do we have? One simple measure to complement BMI is the waist to hip ratio, or the waist to height ratio, which provides a better idea of fat distribution. Storing fat around the abdomen, known as abdominal obesity, poses a higher risk for cardiometabolic diseases like heart diseases and diabetes. Another reliable method is the DEXA scan. DEXA is short for the dual energy X-ray absorptiometry, which uses X-ray to measure body composition accurately, including muscle mass, body fat percentage, and fat distribution, all of which BMI does not measure. However, these scans are expensive and accessible only in specialized facilities. Despite its shortcomings, BMI is popular because it is quick, it is cheap, and it's easy to measure. All you need is to get your weight in kilogram and get your height in meters, and you can calculate your BMI. It remains a useful initial screening tool, allowing healthcare providers to identify potential health risks efficiently. While BMI alone isn't sufficient to gauge an individual's health, it's invaluable for tracking health trends in the general population. BMI should be used in conjunction with other health information to provide a more comprehensive view of an individual's health. Modern technology, including AI, could help improve BMI's utility by identifying more accurate risk cutoffs for diverse groups. For instance, the average BMI in Europe and in the US have steadily increased since the 1970s, and the average BMI in Africa has steadily increased since 2000. While BMI has its uses, it is not a comprehensive measure of health. A more holistic approach that considers additional factors such as muscle mass, fat distribution, and metabolic health offers a clearer picture. The key is to approach BMI with sensitivity and an open mind, recognizing that it is only one piece of the puzzle. I hope this video has given you a better understanding of BMI and its complexity. Remember, your health journey is unique, and it's important to work with healthcare providers who view you as a whole person. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more evidence-based health and nutrition information. As always, stay happy and healthy until next time.